like fair, back air, or nair are all going to be something for Jake to watch out for, like constantly. Early percentages, later percentages, because it's either starting a combo into big damage or interrupting a Steve combo, which I think that's going to prove to be even more valuable as we start things off on Stadium.
And look at that. We've got the backward here to the nair into the up It's 31% just from that single 2-hit combo. That's crazy.
I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of those as well because Aether's going to offer a ton of relief to Ike when it comes to being able to come out of Steve combos, especially if they're properly SDI'd.
Yeah, for sure. And Ravenking is doing a pretty good job right now of just kind of feeling out Jake and how he wants to play this matchup. Jake is just kind of taking his time to get the mining situation going so he can hopefully get diamond and gold later in the set. But how much is it really going to matter if you're playing against Ravenking, who can be so aggressive and kill you just like a touch of death kind of character? Nice with the back air there, waiting until like the last possible second so that Jake was dropping a shield so he could get that kill. Ravenking is at like 67%. That's nothing against Ike.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about Jake coming into the set from having fallen from winners. We saw him rely very heavily on minecart, and in general, Ike doesn't really care about minecart. It's not killing him unless it's gold, it's the redstone boost towards the ledge at like 140. Which, while we're slowly getting to those percentages now, that gives a ton of opportunity for Ravenking to just link together even just 2 or 3 hit combos to meet that damage or threaten kill in his own.
Yeah, and for how much Ike likes to start off his combos in the air, I don't know how much, again, that minecart is going to be useful. So Jake is really going to have to make some adaptations. You know, Ike is a pretty simple, straightforward character, but he does have quite a few mix-ups. So if Jake is able to just kind of figure how the character likes to play, it'll be a lot easier to figure out how Ravenking likes to play his character.
When you really try to boil them down to parts, these characters are almost like polar opposites, where
Yeah.
Steve has potentially tools, multiple tools, for every and any situation and multiple styles of play. And Ike's got, like, Nair. Sometimes it's forward, sometimes it's back. But
Yeah, I know, he's such a
Nair
simple
goes into stuff.
character. Yeah, and Ravenking is able to play neutral just so well and so methodically, and just really play to his advantages as well in this both as against his character and with his character. So dash attack, simple and clean. Gonna take out second to last stock from Jake. You never want to be getting hit by dash attack. That thing just keeps you strong.
Also, right there, we just saw a really important interaction that I hope for Jake's sake that he keeps mindful of as the set goes on. Ike up air being able to break through the minecart and still hit Steve, all without being impeded, is super important for Ike because it shows that he doesn't really have to worry about what's normally a very resource-intensive way of Steve getting ground control or air control and kills sometimes. Here, it's just a waste of iron for Jake.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Ravenking is aware of that right now because he seems to be just kind of like fiending to have these minecarts be thrown out so that Jake wastes his materials and then Ravenking can have a lot more room to move around. But that is going to be a stock taken off of Ravenking. Jake at only 85%. I mean, this is definitely doable against a character who can be so freeform with their early percent combos. So, gonna have to see if Jake is able to make the most of it to bring this back in his favor.
Yeah, diamond tools definitely give a lot of opportunity to build up that damage with no issue, especially as those up tilts start coming in at the earlier percentages. I feel like some reliable damage is necessary to end things out in your favor, though. Like, we need to start seeing some pick loops. We need to start seeing some trapping of the ledge, which can be done not even just with TNT, but the TNT almost proving to be worthwhile getting placed over there.
I know, right? It's scary. I was like, wait, is it gonna blow up?
Okay.
Nair? Was it Nair that just took that stuff?
It looked like the first frame of up air and then interrupted. It's one of those situations where the character's just sort of standing there menacingly and they just sort of explode.
I know,
Either
right?
way, that's game one, falling in favor of Ravenking.
Yeah, we've got the replay here. Let's see if we can figure it out. That was Nair. Was it really?
It looked like the last frame of Nair, and then
Oh my
DI'd
goodness.
horrendously.
I mean, eventually that move will kill, so good on Ravenking for recognizing that, you know, it just was at that percent where, you know, I can just throw this out, this super duper safe move, and it'll just kill.
All right. I think we're getting the run back on this one. I didn't.
Mhm.
I don't think we saw a stage. Oh wait, no stage trip. Okay, small
Uh,
battlefield makes sense. Although it is a stage that I feel like most sword characters can maintain just as easily as Steve can, because you could shark out those platforms very easily. And one thing that we saw from Ravenking that I think Jake needs to be worried about as we move forward is he doesn't really care about the 3 high pillar that most Steves will use to defend themselves while they gather resources.
Yeah, that is nice as well. You can kind of play around the platforms. That is nice to just kind of sit under them when you have a character like Steve who just wants to hang out and get his mining done. But yeah, Raven King unable to make it back from that. Jake looking a lot different from that first game. He's already got stock taken off Raven King, barely sitting at mid%. But as you've seen, that Raven King is getting tons and tons of damage racked up on him.
Oh, that was cute too. Even ending the 8th there on the anvil so that you can cancel your end lag.
Oh, that was smart. Yeah. Yeah, and Raven King just totally reeling it back right now and just bringing this into his favor instead of Jake's. I mean, like, how often is it that someone will get like an early stock off of someone or a 0 to death, and then someone will just bring it right back, like Raven King just did, just out of nowhere. Like this, Raven King just plays totally like touch of death.
Yeah, no, the Ike play coming in clean right now. I feel like Jake needs to do as he did in the first stock, force the battle to the ledge. We saw a really clever trap where you stand at roll distance and you're able to up tilt TNT, so you hit the plate but not the TNT itself. It's pretty clever, and it does net you a decent amount of damage, and we saw that the pressure and it was just too high for Raven King to surmount there. Traps like that could come in very handy for Jake, especially as like trying to just bull rush forward has not proven to be too effective for him. But this runaway game, it's getting the damage, and it seems to be very annoying for Raven King to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Ike is a pretty slow character, so it could be really hard to deal with the runaway or stay under platform. But just like that, Raven King totally able to handle the situation better than most people would be able to. Just like playing it safe, playing it calm, finally getting that dash attack right when you needed it.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Jake did not have to take all that.
Right. Oh, the Nair into the back air. Nice conversion from Raven King. Finally gonna take that stock off of Raven King with a nice back air. Oh, that was scary.
Yeah, Raven King on the hunt for a back air of his own to end this out, and at 81%, if it happens near the ledge, it might be able to kill in its own right, but
Oh, I know,
like,
right?
just finding Nair itself is proving to be effective for Raven King. Although landing on top of Steve is a pretty risky gambit, because at these earlier percentages, Steve players love that. That's where you get up air. That's where you get up tilt. And if you just want to break away the pressure, up smash proves just as effective for Jake.
Yeah, and even Raven King was throwing out an up smash of his own there. Oh, nice get up attack there. That does have invincibility now as you're getting up. It carries the invincibility over so many grab ledge. So it can be really nice for sending those projectiles that TNT away.
Oh, that should be curtains. But really good DI for Jake, keeping him alive. I guess from, out on the second flat was just enough. Although I don't know if Steve can survive another one of those.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think he could.
Not at 141.
Nair.
Damn, not almost Nair? I don't know
right?
about that DI.
2 games in a row.
For Jake's sake, I hope not.
Yeah, and Raven King just opting the pummel right now, and yeah.
Yeah.
Nair gonna take it again.
Like, I think both Jake and Raven King have realized that Ike Nair big. Not the not the most profound of realizations to reach, but it is a necessary enough tool. If Raven King's going to be willing to put it out, Jake needs to respond to it in some way besides run forward.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I just think it's so funny and cheesy when you have like a move like that where you can just spam it and get like really great combos going, and then eventually it just kills too. Like it's just why.
All right, well, let's see if Game 3 back on small battlefield yields any different results. Jake started out that Game 2 really hot. Pressing to the ledge, it's looking like he's going to try to do the same. Oh, how did this end? How did it go so wrong so fast for Jake?
I know, we're looking like Smash 4 out here playing on 2 stocks.
Oh, so fast. And the pressure to the ledge, it was looking like the beginning of Game 2 very quickly. and that's good. But I think getting just a little too greedy for the forward air spikes. I think just repeating the same situation and then letting it kill Ike accordingly would have been the safest bet. But that's the nothing part of an all or nothing gambit.
Yeah, and I like the grab there, just kind of using it for positioning. Ravenking is doing a great job of holding center and holding like the stage so that he can juggle Jake right now, and then
Ooh.
finally getting the back air.
Spacing on that back air really good too. Just managing to catch out the Elytra. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
unfortunate for Jake. Tries to find his reversal off the Angel Plow with an up smash. Would have been great for stopping the bleeding, but instead it's just Ravenking on a tear here.
I know, just like strong move into strong move into strong move. Like seriously, he like can anyone stop this man? Oh my god.
Yeah, Ike doesn't really care about
No,
anvils.
he
Does care
doesn't.
about the magma block though. So just like that, we're on last stocks. Although Jake quickly getting forced out of his iron usage, trying to drop anvils and ride minecarts across Ravenking. It's leaving him bereft of important resources for better normals. We saw how effective he was with diamond tools in the past 2 games. But if he's not able to get to diamond, that doesn't really matter. Oh, and he's getting desperate. He punched in the ground.
He is, seriously. I know he doesn't really have a whole oh my goodness. I didn't even get to finish my sentence before that finished. But yeah, seriously, Raven King was just like on a chair that set. That was a 3-0 for Raven King. I mean, we've seen him before, and he is just an incredibly strong player in the Midwest here. So it's amazing to see him like doing well on Wi-Fi as well. Just going back to this like silly little interaction that Raw of B taking the stock away from both of them.
Yeah, Jake got too greedy, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but that leaves Jake out of the tournament for the evening. Good on him. I believe that's 5th place tonight, so impressive nonetheless. Although we're going to be moving things over to the winners side of things. We're looking at winners finals, which is going to be between Waka and PS Mao. So Luigi into Ken. How do you feel about this matchup?
Well, I mean, both of them can kind of blow each other up when they're in that boxing range. You know, we were saying earlier, PS Mao was doing an amazing job of keeping advantage going and getting a lot of like crazy combos and shield pressure. But Luigi, I mean, he is no slouch either. He's got that 0 to death. So it's really just going to come down to who can keep who in a disadvantage longer. And I think too, there's going to be like an element of like edge guarding because they both don't really have the most like amazing recovery options. So I can definitely predict some craziness happening off stage from both of these characters.
Yeah, like on paper, I would agree. This matchup definitely lends itself to just explosion left and right. Although from the play styles of both the players, I feel like that feeds into it even further. Like what we saw with Mao's Ken earlier, it was just move forward, get hits, get killed. Like bit, bat, bam. Very impressively, too. With Waka able to play out very effectively, not even relying on too big of grab combos. So there's a lot of potential here for this one to just sort of swing back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were seeing both of these players earlier, and they were just like doing an amazing job of like playing their character to their best strength. And again, it's going to be like Clash of Titans out here, like seeing how these two come at it from characters that have very similar strengths. You know, Luigi has got the 0 to deaths that I was talking about earlier, and Ken with all the pressure that he normally has. But as well as that, I think too, like it's gonna come down to like bans and like who can get the stage that's best for their character. So I think that's gonna be another
Agreed.
into it.
No, yeah. Stage, I think, is actually going to have a pretty big impact on this as well. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see a set go to PS2 the entire time. Because if we end up going to either small battlefield or regular battlefield, there's a lot of ways that both of these characters could start to adjust how early their combos kill. And that could be something that neither of them wants to deal with. Likewise, some presence of platforms is going to be important. I would expect Town and City to come up at some point, but maybe not so much Final Destination, unless it's on like Waka's call, and Ismail is like really gutsy about playing off of no plats.
Yeah, I think both of these characters kind of they don't have like the most amazing platform play and disadvantage. So it's going to be interesting seeing how the two of them are kind of going to be able to blow each other up with the platforms.
Either way from here, it's just a matter of waiting for the players to enter the arena. So,
Jeez, you guys are holding that bracket.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen too much of Ken versus Luigi. I feel like there's really not too many Ken players nowadays, in spite of the character not really struggling to rack up damage or get kills, and it has a pretty fancy way of outdoing it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Ken players kind of dropping the character for Kazuya now that he's out. And really, the only Shotos that I'm saying like are Ryu. Like the most prominent one that I could probably think of is ICANN in the Midwest. He's been doing like a great job. So I mean, I think he was originally going to try and get to Summit, but it doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, still like there's just not that many Shotos lately. You're right. I think a lot of them kind of just dropped them for Kazuya.
And even then, like Kazuya, very proving to be difficult character to master. In general, like I think all of the fighting game characters seem to struggle a lot with characters that we're seeing very often in most metas across, especially here in the States. Whether it's you're dealing with Robs, you're dealing with Sephiroth, you're dealing with Trainer, you're dealing with Pyramithra, Palutinas that are still plenty present. Wolves aplenty. Like all of these are characters that don't really struggle with any of the fighting game characters, either giving them an especially hard time or put them in situations where they need to pop off in order to get deep into brackets. So it almost makes sense that we're not seeing too many of them, but at any rate, PS Mal is proving, Ken's still good.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he was doing like a great job in some of these earlier sets, just blowing people up.
And it looks like we have both the players in the arena now, so it's just a matter of them selecting their stage, getting themselves ready. I can almost guarantee you we're starting